Alright guys, so I want to give my review of the Galaxy Z Fold 5 after 1 week of use. And I also want to go ahead and clarify this for anyone who said this in my last video. This S Pen cover, guys, the S Pen is supposed to be like this. If you look at the picture of the unboxing I showed of the actual cover, it actually is supposed to be like that. I got some comments of people saying that it's supposed to go the opposite way, and it's not in any way supposed to go this opposite way. That's just a key tip. Anyone, I know, again, not everyone has this S Pen cover, but yeah, if you go the opposite way, you can actually get it stuck, so no reason to do that. It just simply slides in just like that, and then you just push it down, and it actually clicks here so that it doesn't fall out, which is awesome. But, surprisingly enough, right, my review of it when I think it was after a day of using it, I talked about my biggest problems, right? And one of my biggest problems was the inside display and unlocking it with my face. It actually, for some reason, after I made that video, like, I'd say 4 or 5 hours later, I was just like on my bed scrolling through X, not Twitter, and I opened it up and it started working now, and it works now perfectly fine with my face, not my fingerprint, just my face. So I don't think that was an update, although I did update it after that, but I'm not sure. I don't think that was an update in any way. Maybe there was like some debris or something on the under display camera, and that caused the problem to happen. Because keep in mind, when it comes to this under display camera, it's literally plastic, right? So at the end of the day, you could easily have like little debris over that camera, and if it gets blocked, you're not going to be able to unlock your phone with facial recognition. Now, overall, I still use my fingerprint reader probably more than facial recognition anyway, just because it's easier, but it's definitely something I want to say that did actually change and got a lot better since my last video. Now, other than that, I will say, even at a week after owning this bad boy, luckily I'm not making a video why I returned to Galaxy Z Fold 5, but even a week later after going ahead and picking this up and buying this, I will still say I absolutely love it. And again, this is coming from someone who's owned a Z Fold 3, a Z Fold 2, a Z Fold 3, and a Z Fold 4. So, you know, I have a little bit of a bias, right, towards Galaxy Z Fold devices. Because, again, I do love every single one they've ever made. But it still feels like an upgrade. And again, like, now that the nostalgia has worn off at this point, because again, listen, whenever you buy a new product, right, whether you buy a new cell phone, new Xbox, new PlayStation, whatever, right, the first, like, I say 24 hours, 40, maybe 72 hours, you're gonna be like, this is the best thing I've ever bought. This is the best thing possible. Because, you know, it's that honeymoon phase you have with the product, right? You're like, I can't believe I did this. This is amazing. I love having this. But then a week later, usually, that's when you kind of, I like to say, settle back into Earth, right? You kind of come back to Earth and you say, oh, I don't know if I really, you know, feel the same as I did in the very beginning. But, no, I'm not going to change my opinion in any way possible. And I'll also tell you another thing. So, this thing right here, Galaxy Z Fold 5, the battery life is freaking amazing. And probably the best battery life I've had on any foldable phone I have owned. And that includes the Surface Duo 1 and 2, which they actually have pretty dang good battery lives too. My only problem with the Z Fold, with the Surface Duo series, is it heats up like a crazy when you are either, if you're charging it or if you're using it sometimes, or heat up. Now, of course, that's because it's just two panels of glass on top of each other. But overall wise, I will say I have only experienced this heating up one time, and that was after I charged it for like an hour and a half. That's when this was just like started heating up like crazy. But other than that, I haven't had any problems with this heating up in any way. Another problem I've seen some people complain about is using this phone in direct sunlight. So let's say, for example, you're outside and it's not the outside display they're complaining about. Of course, it's that inside display because it's plastic. So if you have the sun behind you and you're looking at this phone, and how much will it reflect fingerprints, you know, any little issues with this display, it's going to be reflecting. Overall, it is definitely there. It's definitely a problem, I will say, to a certain degree. But again, it's plastic. So I don't know really what you would expect from this other than the fact that, yeah, as long as you wipe down your display, and I do wipe down my inside display, which again, be very careful if you're doing that. Use a microfiber cloth. The reason why is because, and also make sure you use a brand new one. Do not use one that you have in your pocket for 6 hours, because any little, grain or dirt or anything in that microfiber cloth, when you wipe it on this display, you can scratch the display. So be very careful for that. But that's what I usually do if I'm going outside. I'll wipe the display down, get it all clean, go outside, and it's not really that big of a problem. Now, if you never wipe your display down and you go outside, then yeah, you might have a little bit of problem with the fact that your, display is dirty as all heck, and now you're going outside using it. But again, like I said, other than that though, no real problems with this phone. I am still happy I bought this phone, even a week later. Even though I'm past the honeymoon phase, I'm past, the initial phase. It's amazing. Multitasking on this phone is the best. You have one screen, you can literally split. I split YouTube on one screen, and I split Gmail on another one. Go through my Gmails, answer emails left and right, while watching YouTube on the left-hand side. It's nice, it's simple. And again, this is another reason why, if you ever get a Z Fold device, you'll never go back to an iPhone. Okay, I thought it was shaking a little bit. Ever again. Or iPhone or any candy bar cell phone. Because the multitasking capabilities on these phones are absolutely out of this world. And I can't even stress that enough. But other than that, though, that's pretty much my review, I would say. Just because, again, like I said, there's no problems with it. I haven't tried out the cameras as much, though. And I'll be honest with you, after owning a Galaxy S23 Ultra, and I made a video on the channel going through it, that probably was, and I also did own an iPhone 14 Pro Max, for those Apple fans who were going to say, well, that's because you didn't own an iPhone 14 Pro Max. After owning those two cameras, those were, by the way, the best cameras I have ever used in my life. This camera, still really good, still really great. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as those other cameras, but again, like I said, for being a foldable phone camera, it's really freaking amazing. All three of these cameras. So, overall, would I recommend picking this up to a friend, right? My answer is still going to be no. And again, I do love it, but I'm going to still say no, because you can get the Z Fold 3 and the Z Fold 4 for so much cheaper. Right now, you can get the Z Fold 3 for around $500, Z Fold 4 for around $800. So there's really no reason to pick up a Z Fold 5 if you can get these other phones for cheaper, because you're probably going to have, one thing, a lot more fun when you're spending a lot less money on these phones, right? And then you can really get the experience of having a foldable phone and feeling that energy and feeling that multitasking capabilities without having to, break the bank for it, right? So, again, like I said, even though, yes, I do love this phone, it's my daily driver, I use it every single day, it's literally, I can never put it down at this point. It is glued to my hip. You can also get this same feeling for a lot less money. But, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.